Happy 20th anniversary, SportsMax!
Back on the SportsMax zone, SportsMax is celebrating 20 years of regional broadcasting excellence, where we have brought some of the world's biggest sporting content to your TVs and mobile devices. We are taking time this year to mark this milestone, and along with the way we are reflecting on the work that has gone into making us the entity that continues to set the highest standards throughout the region. Yeah, so a lot of excitement surrounding the SportsMax product, and we saw that little picture with I suspect that was coming from the Caribbean Games when we had so many Caribbean people here in Kingston over the Easter weekend, and celebrating just ahead of the day itself the impact that SportsMax as a broadcasting entity for sports, not only regionally but internationally, has meant to our viewers.
Yeah, and I do know for sure that exactly what you just said, the impact that we've had throughout the Caribbean and what we mean to the viewers is a massive reason why I would have joined the SportsMax family. Because, you know, growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, everywhere you went, Georgia and Lance, that's what I saw. I knew about SportsMax. So when I got the opportunity, that's the reason I packed everything up and I moved across.
Yeah,
which was a lot.
With some nudging from George Davis, right?
Yeah, I actually met with him in Trinidad.
Yes.
And I had an interview with him first.
Whittaker, I don't want you to make...
The most difficult interview ever.
Whittaker, I don't want you to slide away from the point, you know. She said she packed up everything and left. It's a lot that she packed to come here.
A lot?
A lot.
Okay, well, after this, we'll hear everything about Mariah and her packing to come to Jamaica.
As the Caribbean's premier sports and entertainment broadcaster, SportsMax's trail of excellence can be tracked over 20 years. SportsMax moved from vision to reality in 2002. From that dream came the Caribbean's first ever 24-hour sports channel.
When we started broadcasting via satellite, there were people writing us from Nigeria, all over the world, saying that they liked the content. Because at that time, the channel was not encrypted. And once the channel was encrypted, people started to complain that they weren't able to see it again. So, and then of course, along with the technology, as I said before, is the fact that we had built up quite a decent pool of content. Staffing is absolutely crucial. As you would know, and as you would have seen, we have, especially as far as our talent is concerned, I would say that undoubtedly we have the best talent in the region. Our on-air presenters. Also, our production team is highly skilled, and you know, they have worked hard at their craft over the years, and to make sure that we're able to deliver. Of course, this has to be underpinned, or this has been underpinned by the quality of the equipment that we have invested in and given the team to work with.
Available for subscription across 26 regional territories, the SportsMax brand is synonymous with the best regional and international content. SportsMax has broadcast the crown jewels of international sporting content to its Caribbean family over the years. The Olympics.
Thompson here are trying to test her. Thompson and Shelley and Fraser-Price. Thompson pulls clear. Thompson here wins 10-6-0. Olympic record. Wow!
The World Athletics Championships, the FIFA World Cup, the English Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League.
Part of our mantra, but a key part, is our relationship. And second is understanding the market. We're constantly on the ground. We're constantly talking to our viewers. We're constantly doing surveys, and we ensure that we build and maintain relationship, not just with the stakeholders, but with our viewers, because we're serving them. We're servants of the people, and we have to ensure. And as you rightly say, we evolve, and the evolution, people's viewing habits change daily, the way how they view content and what you add to content, the 360 treatment that you give to the content, the augmented reality that you give to the content, the engaging of the digital space to our content. So whatever content we're purchasing, we constantly ensure that all of these mix are part of it and all these variables are part of it.
In a dynamic media landscape, the company has remained relevant by diversifying its offerings. This varied approach to operations include the full production of prime sporting and entertainment events in the region.
I think that a few key factors that lend to SportsMax's continued success and relevance in an ever-evolving world of digital and television media would be we have our teams outfitted with equipment and technology that allows them to meet broadcast and industry standards at a world level. I think that we are blessed to have a group of individuals, young men and women, who are passionate about sport and entertainment in the region, in the world.
In terms of our talent, in terms of our equipment capability, in terms of what the market is required from us. So we do a lot of research, we do a lot of workshops, we do a lot of engagement with practitioners out there who are basically, doing the same thing that we're doing. So we strive to produce, we strive to use the best equipment, the latest equipment, to execute our job so we can be very competitive in the marketplace.
Acquired by telecommunications giants Digicel in 2014, the SportsMax marketing machinery remains among the most envied across the region.
It's all about being consistent, having premium content like the NBA, La Liga, UEFA Champions League, CPL, cricket, and of course some of our local offerings like JPL in Jamaica, Ascension League in Trinidad, high school football for Trinidad and Jamaica, Carifta games that we just had and did brilliantly, if I may say so myself, and of course the Commonwealth Games that's coming up in July. We make sure we carry what our fans want. We make sure that we're ahead of the game with technology, offering virtual branding for our field. So it's really about just listening to what our followers or viewers want and ensuring that we give them what they want.
To SportsMax, for 20 years of stellar service to broadcasting, content distribution and production across the region.
Yeah, thanks, Donald Oliver and SportsMax, 20 years and growing, and the growth of SportsMax as a broadcast entity regionally has been tremendous from the very early days 20 years ago, Mariah and George.
Well, I have been privy to listening to the stories about the development, and I have to say, wow, because for somebody who's coming from an outside, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, coming to Jamaica, and hearing how it started and what it is now, because I haven't experienced those stories that you all explain, from where you're trying to get satellites, standing on the roof and all these different things. I feel very blessed. I feel very blessed to be a part of this organization now and to reap the benefits, Lance, of all the entire team members that would have worked extremely hard to create what I now sit on this show and I'm a part of.
George, fondest memories?
Boy, a lot. I think my broadcasting life, I've been blessed because I'm looking at SportsMax and the path to this point, and the development aspect that so many people have spoken about, the teething pains and the periods where things were uncertain about the direction and the future, and then here we are, undoubtedly the best, top of the mountain. And I can draw parallels between that and where I was coming from and how we were unknown, not respected, to the point where they are now established and respected. It's the same thing with SportsMax. And I say I've been blessed because I was a part of both those things. And in my former life in radio, I had the benefit of working with absolute legends in the business, men who, if you call their names, and women, if you call their names, nobody will say, he wasn't as good as that, or she wasn't as good as that. These people are without doubt. Even their critics admit that they're legends. We're talking about Ed Barnes, Cliff Hughes, talking about people like Erica Allen and others. Yeah, these people, I learned from them. And then, so here's where the blessing comes full circle now, because I come to SportsMax and I meet Mariah, another legend. Yeah, a man who I've told the story 16 million times, and I'll tell it more times to come. As a boy in primary school, I was Lance Whitaker. Yeah, I imitated the man every day. I did everything. I was that guy. I was that guy. So to come now and work alongside, to rub shoulders with, and to
now he's your pal. You're always talking all day about horse racing.
As a peer, and that's the point. And then the commonality, because of course I didn't know this before I came here, that the same man who was responsible for my own early training and development, partially, because I have to give Cliff Hughes, of course, equal billing. But Ed Barnes, who was so important for me in the fundamental stages, is the same man who trained Lance. So we're coming from the same stable, so to speak.
Yeah.
So to come here to work alongside, brilliant. And it was almost like a dream situation for me. But SportsMax is about the people. Lance spoke earlier today at our office event about the talent we have on air. And the talent is immense. I mean, the guys, Donald Oliver, Ricardo Chambers, they are scary good. Yeah, we have some presenters in scene that are tremendous potential. Mariah has come about 2 galaxies since the time that she's been with us, coming out of Trinidad and Tobago from a different environment. She has learned the ropes, you have, and you are now a setter of standards that other people aspire to. That is the platform that SportsMax gives. So SportsMax has been presenting people to the Caribbean who are of world class, who are best in class, as I love to say, and at the same time has been giving viewers a kind of value to a TV subscription that no TV or no media entity in the history of Caribbean broadcasting has ever given before. Let me say that again. The value that SportsMax gives to its subscribers and has given, and hopefully will continue to give, that value has never even been attempted to be given by any broadcaster in the history of broadcasting in this Caribbean region. And that's why we are unique, that's why we're special, that's why I'm happy to be part of the team.
Your time, Mariah, much shorter than mine and George, because George had worked with SportsMax as a freelancer before he came on staff. But your fondest memories in the short time that you've been here?
I would say, well, I'll think as of recently, because, you know, when I came to the pandemic happened, so
yes.
A lot of the outdoor stuff I didn't get to participate in because of the pandemic. But for me, it would have to be CPL for sure. When I got the opportunity to do the Winter Prime show, George, so I would do the morning and you would do the evening, and that for me was like, yes, because now I'm lining up with you.
Yep.
Right? So that was amazing. And then covering the Reggae Girls, I have to say I genuinely enjoyed that. And the thing is, with our team, we get the opportunities to do so many different things. You know, when people hear SportsMax, it's like a ticket for us, you know, to do so many different broadcasting. So for me, those would be my top 3.
Lance, if I may, in the style that they do on the floor of the U.S. Senate, where one person gets time,
yes.
and there's a little bit of time left, and somebody else takes that little bit of time. So here's the thing. Yes. The event and we've done some cracking events, but the one I'll never forget, the one I think is our gold standard, and we differ, many of us differ as to which we think is the best event we've done.
Yeah.
I Am Bold. Lance, Mariah.
I wasn't here.
You know what? Yeah. You know why I Am Bold? Because I Am Bold wasn't sport. It was about, of course, the greatest the greatest sprinter of all time, arguably the greatest athlete of the modern times. But because it wasn't a sport event we were doing, we weren't covering football, cricket, even track and field. We were talking about Bold's story, his documentary.
Understood.
And that black carpet event we had at the National Indoor Sports Center, where the Indoor Sports Center couldn't hold, and the dignitaries, the Prime Minister was there, the who's who, the glitterati, as I call them, came out for that. And the production that we put together, we were in black tie 1 minute, doing interviews outside, then we changed and we were inside hosting a mini discussion. Myself, both of us, along with Alex Jordan, for that thing, and then the screening. I think that no broadcaster in our field has ever attempted something like that and pulled it off the way we did. It was a production befitting of what you'd get if you go to London or one of these movie meccas, Toronto, or I'm thinking of New York, where Tribeca, where Robert De Niro has his thing. It was a Tribeca kind of production that we put on at the Indoor Sports Center. For me, that's the greatest thing we've ever done.
Wow.
Well, my fondest memory would have to go back to the 2012 Olympics, George and Mariah, the London Games, where it was the first Olympics that SportsMax covered. And it's indelibly written in my mind the sort of performance that the Caribbean athletes put on there. Of course, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Usain Bolt with their big 100-meter wins, but 2 19-year-olds, the Grenadian Kirani James and Kishon Walcott from Trinidad and Tobago, winning gold medals. Walcott's javelin gold, like one of the biggest shocks in the history of the Olympic Games. So for me, although there are many, if my arm was twisted, I would give that one the edge, just because it was the first Olympic Games covered by SportsMax, and the way the Caribbean as a region stepped up and beat the world.
Yeah.
So that would be for me. But I take George's point about the I Am Bold event. It was magnificent. It was, it was almost like a Grammy Award kind of scenario, and it was tremendous, to be honest.
All right. Well, to our many viewers across the region, we have 2 questions that will allow you to share in the SportsMax 20th anniversary celebration. We want to share the experience with you, as we always do. So yeah, you will get a chance to secure a prize. We're asking 2 questions, and it's not just the facts kind of questions. It's easier than those. All right. The first question: what year did we start the SportsMax Zone? What year did we start the SportsMax Zone? Yeah. So go ahead and send us your responses via WhatsApp, 876-564-7661. That's 876-564-7661. That's the first question. The second question: name 2 previous full-time hosts of the SportsMax Zone. 2 previous full-time hosts of the SportsMax Zone. You can send those responses via the SportsMax Instagram page, and that Instagram page account is SportsMax TV. Remember, first answer to both questions wins. Stay with us. More SportsMax Zone after the break.
Happy 20th anniversary, SportsMax. Big up yourself all the time. You carry everything: football, netball, tracks, and nobody can beat Uno all over the world.
And as we continue to celebrate 20 years of SportsMax, we're pleased to be joined on set by our CEO, Nicholas Matthews. Welcome, Chief. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
I'm glad to be in esteemed company.
Lads, you start. good to share the platform for you. SportsMax at 20, what should our subscribers firstly reflect on?
I think firstly, it's a time of celebration, because we have created a brand that is associated with the Caribbean. It was developed in the Caribbean, and I think every Caribbean viewer should be proud of this brand, SportsMax, because it was created here, it was developed here. Prior to us, I mean, there's no other brand that is Caribbeanly accepted, and I'm using that word. I'm creating a word.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what we do here.
Caribbeanly accepted as this brand, SportsMax, especially when it comes on to broadcasting.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should be celebrating that across the region.
Yep. When you look at the history of what we have done up to this point, what is it that entities come and go? You know, you're a man who knows business. You know that it is the nature of small businesses to start and then fold. We started small and we are here now. What is it that has kept us not just surviving, Chief Executive Officer, but thriving over these 20 years?
What is critical, and I'll go to the Bible. The Bible says, without a vision, the people perish. Without a vision, companies will perish, and SportsMax has thrived because of a vision. We have a vision. We want to be a world-class broadcaster. We want to be a world-class production house. We want to have world-class presenters. Everything when it comes on to broadcasting has to be top of the line, and we have set the mark where that is concerned, and I think that is what has kept us going. There has been many obstacles, but at the end of the day, the vision was always clear, and we were always striving to achieve those objectives.
A lot of the television entities in the region, Chief, are free to air. And it is a fact that in the media landscape, most television stations are in the red. very, very difficult to flourish financially as a television station. Of course, SportsMax as cable and subscription based in how we, make our money is different from free to air. But how satisfied have you been with the financial growth of SportsMax as an entity?
We have come a far way as a company, and I mean, we heard some of the stories today in our staff meeting. Some of them I can't even say on here. But we have come a far way, and anybody who have built anything will know that you build from nothing. And there have been times when we couldn't pay the bills in terms of pay for the rights. We couldn't pay staff. We couldn't do anything. But we continue to push forward. And I think we're at a place now. I came to SportsMax in 2012, right? And we did a lot of road shows throughout those for 2 years, right, in terms of trying to get buyers for the company. Investors, actually, not buyers. Our aim was really to get investors.
Yes.
We eventually did a partnership with Digicel, and Digicel is now majority shareholder of the company. But, and that has helped in terms of the investment into the company, and has allowed us some room, some wiggle room to do a lot more in terms of acquisition, production equipment, or overall infrastructure has improved. And you'll hear the stories, and the team members will tell you, things have changed a whole lot for the brand, and I think we're at a better place now in terms of our economic performance. We have also helped to transform the Caribbean market. Prior to SportsMax, rights were not sold exclusively for Caribbean. When SportsMax came into the market, we were able to carve out rights just for Caribbean. So now we can go to any rights owner. I mean, we have seen it. The English Premier League, right, started with SportsMax. You have La Liga, NBA, all of these content. Most of the time, what used to happen, and it happens in general entertainment, where they include the Caribbean into whether South America or North America. So a lot of people complain about general entertainment, and some shows, they're not in English, they're in Spanish.
Yes.
But because of how it is twinned. With sports, we have allowed the Caribbean to get sports just for Caribbean.
Yes, which is significant.
Which is very significant.
Yeah. A part of the growth of SportsMax, Chief, has been the acquisition of a broadcast truck, which allows SportsMax to take on any major production, anytime, anywhere, even outside of Jamaica, because the company ships equipment to overseas assignments and covers as well. When I came to SportsMax in 2012, a lot of the major projects that we would have undertaken would have had to partner with a production house to assist us. How much has that impacted on SportsMax's ability to perform?
It has done a whole lot for us. We started in 2015, actually. And it's not one truck, we have 2 fly packs.
Yes.
Primarily one in Trinidad, one in Jamaica. And when we're doing major productions, we pull those together. But what that has allowed us to do is to do a lot of local productions. We started with schoolboy football. We had the Red Stripe Premier League back in the day, which is now the Jamaica Premier League. We have done SSFL in Trinidad, which is their schoolboy football. We have done Ascension League, which we're doing now in Trinidad. And we have done a lot. We do
horse
CPL.
Racing. Horse racing.
Yeah.
See, let us help you. We've
we
done
go to
swimming,
Grenada.
we've done volleyball, we've done track and field outside of Jamaica. Yes, we've done a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
We have gone to Grenada for track and field. We have gone to Cayman. So we have done a wide array of productions, and this has allowed us to bond with the Caribbean and in the markets across the region.
George Mariah and I were asked to relive our fondest moments at SportsMax. So you've been here 10 years, half of SportsMax's age. What is your fondest moment, or what are your fondest moments? Because there may be more than one.
I think the first one was the 2018 World Cup when we did the Youth SportsMax Zone by the Chinese Benevolent Center.
Yes.
Yes, and we got persons to come in just to watch the football.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I know SportsMax had done it before in New Kingston.
Yes.
You know, but we built on it in 2018 with that production. The next one when we did the Buju concert.
Yes. Oh,
Long Walk
to Freedom at the National Stadium. Yeah.
Wow. And that wasn't a sporting event.
And that's the point I'm making.
Yes.
You know, when I remember back in the tertiary days, we used to have the Caribbean intercol debates, and the people who organized those debating competitions always had regional unity, a regional integration at the heart of most of the topics that we debated. You could say, okay, what about regional integration that they're going to ask? You can do your reading before the moods came out. So, you know, a lot of the debates always centered around what are the things that are distinct to Caribbean. Now, of course, we all know cricket is without doubt Caribbean.
Yes.
I'm here to declare on this day in sports, May 10, 2022, that alongside West Indies cricket, which is distinctly Caribbean, and CARICOM, with all its flaws, distinctly Caribbean, SportsMax is distinctly Caribbean. And I make that declaration and ask our CEO, what is it that we've done, and what about what we've done that has enabled us to connect with the viewer and the resident in Grenada, in Point 14 in Trinidad and Tobago, in St. Lucia, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in Dominica and Rousseau, in Kingston, Jamaica. Everywhere SportsMax is broadcast, the people feel like they're watching their channel, and they don't feel as if they're watching a Jamaican channel. What is it about what we do and how we've done it that has caused us to have this place, this regard in the minds of people right around the Caribbean?
So I will go back 10 years ago when I was being interviewed for the job as CFO, and I was told that I didn't know which company it was, but at the time I was told it's SportsMax when I went to the interview. And I was shocked because I didn't know where SportsMax was located. I know it's a Caribbean brand, I know it's a Caribbean channel, but I didn't know where it was located. And I think we have been able to keep it like that. So everybody around the region, and I mean in a lot of our productions, what we try to do is incorporate Caribbean people. I mean, we did Olympics in the summer, and our production was Caribbean, right? We did not have any single country that was more represented than any other.
Yes.
We try to incorporate everybody across the region because we're putting out a product to our people who are going to consume it, and we want them to feel a part of it. And I think we have structured, you know, our productions and our broadcasts. It has always been to incorporate the Caribbean.
And to help the point, that Olympics broadcast you spoke of, Lance will tell you as well that on the production of that, we had Trinis, Bajans, Antiguans, Bahamians.
Yes.
Most of them on air because Gerard Morissette was on air. We had our Antiguan friend on air from time to time. So it was about putting the Caribbean forward.
Yes.
Here's $1 million question that Lance wants to ask you. Yeah? The environment, and CEO is my small reputation precedes. But here you go. You know, I have to be the bad guy. That's what I am. The environment, Chief, is accommodating change. The industry, perhaps, is in flux, like every good industry is, because you have to modernize, things have to change, you have to get competition in, companies have to fold, new players come. So I say that to say that in the landscape that we are, in the environment that we are in, there is emerging an entity that is positioning itself to do some of what we do. Should the primary stakeholders in SportsMax, the staff, and those that we work for, our subscribers and our clients, how should they view our company relative to developments in the environment where competition is concerned?
One of the things we have done and we have continued to do is connecting with our viewers and the market, right? And specifically around the things that we do. So we did Olympics, which is acceptable regionally. We do Carifta, which I think it was one of the best produced Carifta ever, right? I anticipate competition, right? And competition, you want competition because competition will help you to grow. We have started the transition process in terms of our development and the next 10 years, right? We have created an app which is world class, and every time I look at our app, I'm saying this app should be in the market for about $100 US per month.
Given the value.
Based on the value that is incorporated in that app, right? And with that transition, and I mean, we recognize that going forward, sporting content is important, right? Because that's the only live, in most cases, that's the only live content that is available, right? So we have that, and we'll continue to diversify what we offer. We did something unprecedented the other day, which is the Jamaica International Cycling Classic, right? So we will be venturing into other things that will connect with other stakeholders in the market. We have football content, which is very strong in the region, but there are other things that other people want to see and want to be associated with, right? But we'll continue to develop the brand. We're not stopping, right? In terms of viewership, most of the times I'm watching SportsMax, I'm watching it from not a television set, I'm watching it from a device.
Yes.
Because if I'm home, sometimes my wife is watching some movie from Hallmark or somewhere else.
Power of remote is with the wife, so you have to find other means.
Right?
Yes.
So I always have another device or two, because sometimes you have to use your phone to make call and text and all of these things. So I always have another device. So it's going to be important to have these third devices and these other things going forward, because, and we're also on the go, because COVID would have taught us a whole lot, right? You're not going to be in a single space all the time. We're on the go, we're moving. And I think the third device and where our app is, that's going to be very important going forward.
So CEO, we are here to stay, and we are here to fight. We embrace competition. It makes us better, and we ain't going anywhere.
No way.
There you go.
We're here to stay.
Hans.
And I must say, before I depart,
yes,
this esteemed company of these gentlemen who have been doing so well in terms of representing the brand and representing the Caribbean, we have to big up our team, our staff, because they have helped to get us to where we are. They are the building blocks of who we are as a company and who we are as a brand. And I mean, day in, day out, they continue to push, they continue to thrive for excellence, you know. And I want to say big up to the SportsMax team, big up, we're 20, but what is important is how we move forward for the next 20 years.
Absolutely so. All right, that's it. That's our Chief Executive Officer, Nicholas Matthews, talking about the now, talking about he spoke about the past as well, and you heard his message resoundingly so about the future. We're here, and we're here to continue being of good value to you. We want to still be the most valuable subscription in your portfolio. Back with more on the SportsMax Zone after these. We're celebrating 20 this year. Hooray!
Revered as the Caribbean's premier sports and entertainment broadcaster, SportsMax's trail of excellence can be tracked over 20 years. SportsMax moved from vision to reality in 2002. From that dream came the Caribbean's first ever 24-hour sports channel.
When we started broadcasting via satellite, there were people writing us from Nigeria, all over the world, saying that they liked the content. Because at that time, the channel was not encrypted. And once the channel was encrypted, people started to complain that they weren't able to see it again. So And then, of course, along with the technology, as I said before, is that fact that we had built up quite a decent pool of content. Staffing is absolutely crucial. As you would know, and as you would have seen, we have, especially as far as our talent is concerned, I would say that undoubtedly we have the best talent in the region. Our on-air presenters. Also, our production team is highly skilled, and they have worked hard at their craft over the years, and to make sure that we're able to deliver. Of course, this has to be underpinned, or this has been underpinned by the quality of the equipment that we have invested in and given the team to work with.
Available for subscription across 26 regional territories, the SportsMax brand is synonymous with the best regional and international content. SportsMax has broadcast the crown jewels of international sporting content to its Caribbean family over the years, the Olympics.
Thompson here are trying to test her. Thompson and Shelley and Fraser Price. Thompson pulls clear. Thompson here wins 10-6-0. Olympic record. Wow!
The World Athletics Championships, the FIFA World Cup, the English Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League.
Part of our mantra, a key part is our relationship, and second is understanding the market. We're constantly on the ground, we're constantly talking to our viewers, we're constantly doing surveys, and we ensure that we build and maintain relationship, not just with the stakeholders, but with our viewers, because we're serving them, we're servants of the people, and we have to ensure. And as you rightly say, we evolve, and the evolution, people's viewing habits change daily, the way how they view content and what you add to content, the 360 treatment that you give to the content, the augmented reality that you give to the content, the engaging of the digital space to our content. So whatever content we're purchasing, we constantly ensure that all of these mix are part of it and all of these variables are part of it.
In a dynamic media landscape, the company has remained relevant by diversifying its offerings. This varied approach to operations include the full production of prime sporting and entertainment events in the region.
I think that a few key factors that lend to SportsMax's continued success and relevance in an ever-evolving world of digital and television media would be we have our teams outfitted with equipment and technology that allows them to meet broadcast and industry standards at a world level. I think that we are blessed to have a group of individuals, young men and women, who are passionate about sport and entertainment in the region, in the world.
In terms of our talent, in terms of our equipment capability, in terms of what the market is required from us. So we do a lot of research, we do a lot of workshops, we do a lot of engagement with practitioners out there who are basically doing the same thing that we're doing. So we strive to produce, we strive to use the best equipment, the latest equipment, to execute our job so we can be very competitive in the marketplace.
Acquired by telecommunications giants Digicel in 2014, the SportsMax marketing machinery remains among the most envied across the region.
It's all about being consistent, having premium content like the NBA, La Liga, UEFA Champions League, CPL, cricket, and of course some of our local offerings like JPL in Jamaica, Ascension League in Trinidad, high school football for Trinidad and Jamaica, Carifta games that we just had and did brilliantly, if I may say so myself, and of course the Commonwealth Games that's coming up in July. We make sure we carry what our fans want. We make sure that we're ahead of the game with technology, offering virtual branding for our field. So it's really about just listening to what our followers or viewers want and ensuring that we give them what they want.
To SportsMax, for 20 years of stellar service to broadcasting, content distribution and production across the region.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and to click the notification bell to stay informed.